This is the CitizenLink Report.
If you find our insights helpful, would you support our video efforts? Your gift of $25 or more goes a long ways. Covers the crew, lights, cameras, all that. Just click on Donate. Thanks from all of us. In 2014, people who support life, marriage, and religious freedom will have an opportunity to change the direction of the nation. This is the CitizenLink Report. I'm Stuart Shepard, along with CitizenLink President Tom Minnery. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Stuart.
We have something coming up that's called the midterm election. Put that in context for us. Why is this one significant?
Particularly significant are the congressional elections, and all of the attention is on the U.S. Senate. Every 2 years, 1/3 of the 100-member Senate is up for re-election, and so in 2014, most of the seats that will be up for re-election are held by Democrats. Many of those seats are held by Democrats in states won by Mitt Romney in the 2012 presidential election.
And what's significant about that is the majority party in the Senate gets to choose what the agenda is. They get to pick what bills come up for a vote most often.
Well, they do, and bear in mind that recently the majority Democrats ended the filibuster rule for some of the things that could be filibustered. That means if the Republicans take control, they will have very advantageous filibuster rules working for them. Now, what's important about 2014 is that this is the best chance that the conservatives have to take over the Senate. In 2016, many of the seats that will be up for election in the Senate are held by Republicans, and so it's likely that they might, depending on what happens in 2016, actually lose. So everybody's looking ahead to 2014.
Now, to put this in full context, we often hear of bills that are passed in the House of Representatives that are pro-life, they're supportive of marriage, they're connected with religious freedom. They're things that we back, that we like, but then they never get anywhere in the Senate.
Well, they do because of the liberal control, and Harry Reid is an effective representative for the liberals in killing all those things that you just talked about.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Obamacare. How much of an impact will it have during the midterm elections, in your estimation?
I think, Stuart, it's going to have a big impact on the elections, because I believe that more people, including people who work for small businesses, will have problems with getting their health care renewed because of the constrictions put on them by Obamacare. And not only that, but many of the Democrat senators that we talked about who will be running for election next year are people who have said just exactly the same words that President Obama said. If you like your health care plan, you can keep it. That's been said by Mary Landrieu in Louisiana. That's been said by Mark Begich in Alaska. That's been said by Kay Hagan in North Carolina. That's been said by Jeanne Shaheen in New Hampshire. All of those people are Democrats. All of them are on record as saying what has caused President Obama to drop in the polls. You can keep it. Didn't happen. It's not likely to happen, and they're going to have to deal with it, and Republicans will be cutting a lot of campaign commercials talking about that particular item.
Now, I want to couch this next question properly. We are Christian conservatives, and unashamed to say so. We do stand for marriage between one man and one woman. We are pro-life. We do believe that the United States was founded on Christian principles. At this point in time, the party that most represents those values, not perfectly, all right, but the party that most resonates with that would be the Republican Party. As Republicans are running for office in this election, it's possible they could overdo this on Obamacare. Talk about that.
Well, yes, they could. And bear in mind, we are a year away from the 2014 elections. Who knows what will happen? Who knows what kind of political fix the Democrats will be able to make to take this off the table? And there is a danger for Republicans to be counting and counting and counting on this one issue, Obamacare, to sink the Democrat majority in the U.S. Senate. And I remember in the months leading up to 2012, Republican pollsters, Republican commentators were saying, oh, well, I don't believe the polls showing that President Obama is likely to win because they can't, because of this, because of that, and without question, Mitt Romney is going to pull it out. So there is a danger of depending on a narrow focus of something that's happening early to be determinative for the election outcome.
Now, I know you're not a weathercaster, an economic forecaster, or have a crystal ball in your office or anything, but as you look ahead, is it possible that the balance of power in the Senate could shift in the 2014 midterm?
Well, I appreciate the way you phrased that question. Yes, it is certainly possible, particularly if people get generally concerned about health care, believe that the Democrats' Obamacare proposal and law has broken the system completely. That's something that's likely to be in play, but again, who knows?
Now, to draw this out, if that shift happens, so premise with that if things do change in the Senate, there is a switchover in who the majority leader is, how would that impact the final 2 years of President Obama's presidency?
It'll be very frustrating for the president because, without question, the Republican majority in the House will join the new Republican majority in the Senate and produce reform after reform after reform, not only of Obamacare, but of tax matters as well. I think we'll see some real strong tax reform issues being put on the president's desk, and the president no doubt will veto them. And we'll see if, certainly there will not be enough of a Republican majority in the Senate to override a veto, nor in the House. So I think it's going to be 2 years of frustration. We'll see a lot of executive orders dealing with environmental regulations. We'll see a lot of left-wing liberal court nominees going to the Senate. They will be turned back because the Republicans have a majority, but executive orders will be the order of the day from the White House.
At what point do we start looking toward the 2016 presidential election?
Immediately after the conclusion of the 2014 elections, we will be all about the 2016 elections. I've even noticed already reporters talking a whole lot about 2016 because quite obviously the president is unable to get much done, nor are the Republicans able to get much done. Things are stalemated. Some say things are broken. The budget deal that they just reached was a good thing because that takes shutting the government down off the table, which would be a distraction for the Republican Party when they want to keep the onus on Obamacare. But I think all the political reporters, all the political chattering classes are poised to begin talking about the 2016 election just after the conclusion of the 2014 elections.
As we close, I want to give you a chance to give folks some encouragement. I think as we look back over the last 5, 6, 7 years with the economic troubles, with the expansion of government beyond anything we've imagined, with the revelations about the NSA snooping into every electronic communication that's out there, with Benghazi, with money in healthcare going toward abortions, all of this, and with the Defense of Marriage Act being struck, with all of these changes concerning marriage around the states. We need encouragement, Tom. What is your encouragement to America?
Well, since we've been talking in a political context, let's stay there. I think that there are going to be a lot of new emerging voices on the conservative side. I think of people that voters don't even know about, people such as Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin, assuming he wins his re-election battle in 2014. Chris Christie already has won re-election as governor of New Jersey, and for him, by and large, a social conservative, winning re-election by the margin he did, a landslide in a liberal state not like New Jersey. I think he's going to take the national political scene by storm. Bobby Jindal is an interesting newcomer who has won re-election in what used to be a Democrat state of Louisiana, no longer so after the hurricane, but I think he will make an impact. There are a number of exciting new voices to be listened to as the 2016 election primary season shapes up.
All right. Tom, thank you. Appreciate your insights.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thank you for watching. We always love hearing from you. You may write to us at mail@citizenlink.com with your questions, comments, concerns, whatever you'd like to share. We're open to criticism too. It's all right. You can talk to us. And just so you know, a program note, if you will, we're going to be taking a break over the next couple of weeks, and our next CitizenLink report will be the week after New Year's. We'll be producing that on the Tuesday following New Year's Day. So just so you know, you'll have to miss us for a week or two. Remember to pray for our nation. Pray for new leaders to be found. Pray for Americans to know more about the voting process, to know more about the people they're voting for, and to find folks who resonate with our values. And remember, stand tall and be heard.